it's Wednesday, and you know what that means? It means we feel like shit because we're sick.
That's it. And I found it funny that the video was small enough where you can see the three of us dance like idiots in the background. That was the best part.
Well, okay, so I've discovered this.
Okay.
And I think this is a thing that StreamYard does. On this side of the stream, like we see the ring, but it shows the full screen video on where it streams too. So they don't see us dancing like goofballs.
Okay.
During the
going
intro.
around like this.
Okay, because I never noticed that till tonight. So maybe it was just I just didn't notice. Okay, I feel better about it now. Okay, somewhat.
Yeah. But that's a little inside baseball. We dance like goofballs during the intro.
Yeah.
Oh, every time I'm on this show, I love a good beat.
It's just so catchy, you know. It's just like, why not? Hell.
I mean, hey, I picked the perfect theme.
You really,
almost 3 years ago.
Right? Yeah, seriously. Let's take that in for a second. We're getting ready to end 2022. You've been doing just this show
since 2020.
Since 2020, I launched my thing at the very beginning, N19, and beginning of 20. Man, it has flown by. It has legitimately flown by.
It has.
Shit, I've almost been doing this for 2 years too.
Right?
Yeah.
I started in May of 2021, so.
Yeah, I have maintained that, and by the way, this is the Greg Cherry Show. This is Greg. I'm Jeff. This is Matty Laws. Yay, good for us. Okay.
If you hadn't figured that out yet,
figure out what the hell show you're watching, because it's the most random part of your Wednesday afternoons at this point. I said this when the pandemic really hit, that our industry, as far as the podcasting and live streaming, was the only industry that really didn't get badly affected, because we could all stay home and be in front of our cameras and bullshit, and that's what we've been doing 3 years. So it's been a nice little plus to have something to look forward to every day when we weren't able to go to our 9-to-5 job. If we had one, I didn't have one at the time, so it worked out. But it's been really cool. So I was talking to Greg, my old boss Gary earlier today, and talk about that. He and I have been acquainted for 15 years. It was like our friendship and our relationship, he and I, predates Dylan's birth, not his conception, but definitely his birth. And it was just like, shit. So it's bananas.
It absolutely is. 2022 has been easily one of the most eventful years in the history of this brand, at least.
Yes.
And it goes without saying that 2022 kicked off, maybe not necessarily on this channel, but with a message that would be heard loud and clear for all to hear.
Greg Cherry for Quizzlemania.
Yes.
Greg Cherry for Quizzlemania. Greg Cherry for Quizzlemania. Hashtag Greg Cherry for Quizzlemania.
When you said you would fill for 10 minutes until RJ City got here, this is not what you promised
Greg
me,
Cherry
John.
for Quizzlemania.
Stop pulling back the curtain, Sean Ross.
Do it.
So how?
It's been a while since I played that clip, okay?
Yeah, it has, but it's still effective as shit every time.
I remember my overnight shift at McDonald's whenever I heard that, and I was like, holy shit, with Sean saying this on air, it's gonna happen.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, Sat was really the true beginning of getting the ball rolling. I love Sat. I'm so glad that's something that's happening this year, because I believe the tournament started with Matty Laws and Sat going against each other in the first round. Incredible match. He
is an absolute diamond.
He is. He's a diamond of a human being, let alone wrestling knowledge, and that's been the key to his repeat appearances on this brand, I think.
If I could have Sat on here every week, if I had the money to pay Sat to be a part of this channel, I would absolutely do it. No questions asked. Give him his own show, the whole nine. I love Sat. He's wonderful.
Seriously, name your salary, Sat, please. For here, there you go. He's an incredible person, and it's funny you mentioned Sean. I make no bones about supporting Conrad Thompson's ever-growing multiverse, kind of like mine seems to be growing every week. Jesus Christ. But Bischoff on his podcast, I think it was either this week or last week, mentioned that he brought up Sean on an interview on his Strictly Business show, and brought Sean into the show. So for everybody out there that wants to crack on Sean or, say that Sean isn't incredible or whatever, Eric Bischoff brought him in and put over Fightful. So
yeah, I was about to say Bischoff had to have reached out to him for that.
Oh yeah, 100%. Eric reached out to Sean, not the other way around. So y'all can suck it if you don't think that Sean's got credibility at this point. Like, for real, you got Bischoff and John Alba who talk about the business of the business, bringing people like Sean Ross Sapp in, people of that caliber in. Dude, I gladly toast my glass of snozberry juice to Sean Ross Sapp. And yes, it does taste like snozberries.
Well, awesome. I toast my water because I don't have, hot tea or hot sauce to guzzle down with what I'm feeling right now.
Right. Yeah, seriously, it's like Tabasco or something to throw back and eliminate what's left.
Everybody knows what I do.
I think I'm through the worst of it, though. I think Sunday and Monday, I felt like death warmed over.
We were talking about that. Yeah, it's oof.
Did you guys catch a cold after all the ice cold weather? Or?
Well, luckily I'm out west, so I think what just happened is I was telling Greg this right before you popped into the green room earlier, Matty. I honestly think it was just my body was battling whatever it was battling, and it was just trying to, okay, you've got to assign people in Christmas Eve. You've got to work Christmas Day at Disney. You've got to have it together. And I put it up on my social. I don't know if I put it on my work pages, so forgive me, y'all, if you're all hearing this for the first time. But for us in the Disney fandom, being inside Walt Disney's Main Street department is a big friggin' deal. And I got to do that Christmas Day. Like, it just happened. And I came down the stairs after getting the tour, and it was very akin to when I got that really bad bacterial infection in my throat. And this is a very graphic show. We're 10 minutes in, Jesus. The same way, like I made it down the last step and I started to walk toward my location. I went, oh no. Spent the 26th just barking like a seal, coughing. It was so bad. So bad that my lead goes, we have enough people tomorrow if you want to take a day off. I'm like, yes, for the love of God, yes, please. I hate cutting the hours and losing the money, but goddamn, I need to rest. And then, of course, I get tagged into the hockey game last night because my son's mother's family are who they are. And we're not going to go down this show because we're trying to keep Break Show positive. But yeah, I've been sad off and on for a few days. But you guys in the East, I mean, Jesus, you guys are getting hammered with weather. I had an Uber driver drive me to the train beginning of the week or the middle of the week last week, I think it was. And he said his first trip of the day was going to Burbank to bring somebody back to Santa Clarita who had been at the Burbank airport the entirety of the previous day because he couldn't get home.
Wow.
Because of all the travel bullshit going on because people can't go anywhere. So
I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful that my parents live only like an hour and a half away from me. So like we can still drive. Right. The Thursday before Christmas was probably one of the worst experiences of driving weather I've had since I went to pick you up, Jeff, 10 years ago.
I was going to say, being an hour away doesn't always mean it's an hour away because Cleveland all of a sudden became 4 hours away driving through snow to pick my dumb ass up. So it's time is relative, as we learned in Back to the Future. So
see, but the difference is that was just a bunch of snow where we couldn't see and we really couldn't drive through. This was just bitter, like.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what was your temperature, like the lowest temperature you got during the weekend?
-8, I think.
That's obscene.
-8 or -9. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
I was seeing everywhere from negative, like I had -18 up here in Colorado. I saw -28 up in Minnesota with like wind chill that made it feel -34. Like I heard that and I was like, that's ridiculous.
When you figure that +32 is freezing, it's like, I mean, I talk about it all the time. When we went to Knott's earlier this year, and we went to bed at my sister's place, and it was 25, and woke up and it was 20. I'm like, we're still in Southern California, right? Like, what the fuck? Like, it's
yeah, you must have flashbacks to when you were back here.
For real. And Greg, I swear to God, the week with you was wonderful, and I haven't, being in California, I enjoyed the snow, right? Whatever. But yeah, I have never woken up more what the helling than I did at the beginning of this year, January 2nd, at my sister's house, and it was 20 degrees. And I'm like, I wasn't this cold in Pennsylvania in January. What the shit? It was bonkers.
It's a weird thing, though, because, like, especially when you live in Pennsylvania, you notice when it's 50 degrees in October, November, you are freezing.
Yeah.
When it's 50 degrees in March or April, you're out there in shorts.
Right. Yeah. It's weird how the temperature maintains pretty much around the same area, from going into fall, and then as we enter into spring, at least back there. But the wind chill factor is the thing, especially back east. It is so that wind will cut through you. It'll cut through a freaking prison bar. It's so bitter and just cold.
Yeah.
But once the wind dies down, like you said, you're out there in 50 degrees and you're out there in shorts. 50 degrees in California, we're freaking in burkas. Like, oh my God, we're gonna freaking die. No, man, it's not cold. So
I can only imagine, like, if I went to California and it was like 60 degrees out and I was just walking around in a shirt, like a t-shirt
and shorts.
If I would just get stared at, be like, the hell's the matter with this guy?
It depends where in California. You go to Hollywood, you probably would be like, hey, welcome to the family. No, wait. Because, we all dress weird. Weird is relative, but yeah, it's, put it this way. I've been invited. I'm going out again tonight because I'm a glutton for punishment, clearly. You know what, Josh? Just because I'm glad to talk about football this week, especially the Cowboys. Let me just fucking say that right now.
Yeah, we will talk about football. Don't get us wrong. We're going into that because we have to mourn the loss of the Denver Broncos football season. Because
right, Jesus.
I don't know how it took, like, what was it, till last week for us to be eliminated from playoff contention? Like, what is this NFL season?
The only thing weirder in life than the weather around the country is mathematics and sports, Matty. That's why.
Give me 1 second. We'll talk about this in a minute.
Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, I have noticed that it definitely weather is relative around the country. It's so crazy how, like Greg said, he can come out here in 60 degrees. I've been invited to a party. I'm out in the heart of Hollywood. I'm literally going to be around the corner from Hollywood and Highland, so I'm going to be like right in the thick of the city. Mm-hmm. And I know I'm bringing my blanket sweater that I got for Christmas morning because I'm going to wear that shit in the car on the way down there. I've got my big trench coat that I've had since the XMV days. I'm wearing that out because I have to dress in black. It's part of the theme of the club or whatever.
I got you.
It's kind of like goth feel, but you can't wear basic stuff. Like, okay, I got a trench coat. That's about as non-basic as it gets when it comes to me. I mean, this is my usual wear. The hat's fancy. I got this Christmas morning. But, Horseman t-shirt on a Wednesday. Why not? I'm watching the Flair documentary. Finally getting to watch it today, so I figure, okay, I'll dress appropriately. But yeah, I've got the gloves I got issued from work ready to go because it's going to be so damn cold. I even have the rain duster I checked out from work on the off chance it hits rain tonight because we Californians are not, especially Southern California, we're not ready for the rain. We are just ill-equipped. We drive like buffoons.
You guys, I was about to say, I would expect Californians to be all right in the rain at the very least.
Southern California, so you've heard the horror stories about Southern California freeway traffic. When it rains, it gets like amplified by 10 degrees. It is so – people are so ungodly stupid when they're driving in normal weather. When they're driving in the rain, it's like let's just have Faces of Death film right now. Let's just go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and, see who can crash their car first because they have to get to the front of the line. It's like, where the hell are you going? You got to be there so fast that you can't just, drive. Even at the speed limit 65, just can drive that. Like, Dad and I were driving 55 to the game last night, 5 freeway, 110 freeway, and we're getting stared. It's like, motherfuckers, it's raining. Like, why are you being assholes? And then, people ask me all the time, how come you don't drive? It's like Exhibit A, Exhibit B. That's why.
If you saw the people driving around me, you would understand.
Yeah, if you lived the 40 years I've lived in Southern California on these freeways and on these streets, that's just one of the reasons, right? I mean, there are many more, and I'm not going to, go into a therapy session right now. But yeah, it's. Driving out here is different than driving anywhere else, especially in the country. I haven't been around the world driving, so I don't know that answer. But, I've driven with the Cherries in Pennsylvania. I've been in Orlando driving with my dad and with Aaron. It's a whole other animal being driven out here in California. And I don't wish it upon anybody. And I don't know if he's in the room because I don't see him, but I'll wait till Greg sits down because we do have a fourth. Oh, there he is.
Hi.
All right, let's bring him in. Let's just everybody chat about football since we're here now.
What's up, Greg?
What up?
The gang is here. We are.
So where are we?
Oh, I was just getting back to. I was telling Matty that prior to the interruption about football, I was saying that I'm going to a party, but being a Southern Californian, going into a party knowing it's going to be cold, I'm bringing my big trench coat. I'm wearing my sweater blanket I got for Christmas in the car because it's going to be that damn cold because we're wusses out here. And Matty was talking about, I thought you guys would be in California, be prepared for the rain. It's like, no. Driving in Southern California in normal circumstances is batshit crazy at best. People drive in the rain, it gets amped by 10 degrees, and I swear they're driving fast to get to their short bus class. I swear, because it's just like, why are you given a license? Why is this happening? It's ridiculous.
That's what I think all the time when I see people driving.
Well, I mean, yeah, people. I swear. Every time I see somebody driving that is just particularly derpy, I think of an episode of Married with Children where Al's trying to renew his license and Bud's at the DMV, and there's a guy in blind getting a license, and a guy who is clearly not. It's people that aren't clearly are not supposed to be driving. Like an old woman.
I remember that episode. Yep.
Yeah,
and funny. I actually watched that episode because I was rewatching the whole show.
It's finally on Hulu
last month or something like that. And
I'm sorry, it's finally on Peacock, which I find funny that a Fox show is on Peacock, but I guess
right. And they always talk about Fox being like the crappy channel.
Well, it's really all about the licensing stuff. Like it's all about the production companies. It's not necessarily the network and air.
Well, no, because if it was a network or the main studio, then Disney would own that too. So because we own everything. There is that.
That means Peg Bundy is technically a Disney princess.
Sure. Well, no. Kelly be the princess. Peggy's surely a Disney drag queen at best. I mean, let's just throw that out there now. Disney royalty for sure. But no, Fox. Anyway, I don't think Fox actually owns. I know they own the Simpsons because we have that on Disney Plus now too. So anyway, yeah, football. Cowboys beat the Eagles.
I want to address this specifically because I have been saying that I didn't feel like Tua should have come back at all this season prior to this.
No.
And the fact that he has a third, hi Colleen, the fact that he has a third now, I don't think he'll ever play.
No.
Nor should the Dolphins organization or any organization.
I don't think.
Well, he's not playing this Sunday.
I don't think he should play again. Is he going to play again? Yes.
No, they're starting Bridgewater on Sunday.
Not this season, but if they make it to the playoffs, I wholeheartedly see them putting Tua in. If they make it to the playoffs.
Well, speaking of making it to the playoffs, here's somebody whose team isn't. Hi, Josh.
To be fair, Josh, you guys did throw money in the wrong direction.
They 100% did. And we told
I can't say anything. I can't say anything.
Watson is getting better each week, but I mean, for goodness sakes, in that wind, in that weather, why are you trying to pass the ball? Just run it. Seriously.
You have
Now-
Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Why aren't you running the ball?
Exactly, yes. Now, before we get into anything else,
Was Pete Carroll
quick.
coaching the Browns?
Maddie!
How
Yay,
you doing,
Maddie!
Josh?
I stand Maddie. I do not apologize. I'm a Matty Laws stan.
I appreciate it.
So am I. It's okay.
Hi, Big G.
It's wow. I'm a stand Matty. Hi, Big G. Like, wow, so such a different direction.
He did see me like we were to get was it last week on the show. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean look at the attire being worn. The Holy Weekend wasn't bad.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
the
Yeah,
drive-thru
Maddie gets
turns-
more sympathy from me. Maddie gets more sympathy from me.
It's not been a very good season by any stretch of the imagination. And I saw somebody say something about being a diehard Broncos fan and wanting Matt Canada as our head coach.
Oh boy, here
You
we
can
go.
have him. You can have him.
Matt Canada can go to Canada for all I care.
Let me put on my newest Christmas gift.
The tags aren't even off
He's
yet.
gonna start swinging helmets.
That's it. Everybody, hey, I love Greg. You actually, everybody in the room appreciate this because Greg, we've talked about it all season. The NFC East was the bane of this show's existence 2 seasons ago. We were shitting on that like we were trying to create fertilizer for the country, and man, the East has turned around so much. Now it's AFC South. Like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, the AFC South is a dumpster fire.
The entire South is a dumpster.
I mean, that's
fire.
fair. That's fair. The entire South is a mess.
The NFC South is absolutely abysmal.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
I just the Cowboys started. I mean, God, we lost Dak week 1. I was like, oh fuck, here we go again.
Right?
But
they didn't do bad for y'all.
No, it wasn't bad for us. And I swore. I was on the show and on Mikey's show. I was like, we're dead. We're dead in the friggin' water already. And much to my surprise, the Cowboys are well entrenched in the playoffs. We beat Philadelphia, which is always good. We beat them over Christmas, which is even better. We beat them over Christmas with my aunt not being in the house, which makes it 3 times as better because her and her son are both Eagles fans. So thanking God, first of all, that I was late Christmas Eve getting home. Second, that I didn't have to walk in and have to listen to that one way or the other, whether we won or lost. So thank God for that Christmas blessing. The Cowboys are looking good. I hope that everybody else in the room has a decent postseason trading situation.
The Steelers, we probably have like a 5% chance of getting in. We need a lot of help. We have to win out against Baltimore and Cleveland.
Right.
You're fine.
I meant the shit stains. Sorry, the Rapids and the shit stains. And
I have 1 draft pick from Miami,
and I think we need like Miami to lose this weekend, and the Jets need something like there's so much complications.
With Tua being out, I feel like the Dolphins are going to collapse.
Yeah,
and Tua should retire.
I believe the Dolphins will fall out of the playoffs.
As bad as it is for Tua, 3 concussions in 1 season.
That should be an automatic protocol. Like you
have to retire. I think you always have to consider the possibility of him having no choice but to retire.
3 in 1 season is so unlikely and so bad. Like I've had more than 3 over my lifetime since my first accident, but that was 21 years ago. That's bad.
Yeah.
Anthony, you know what? I'll bring the comment up since I'll go ahead and just. Anthony, here's the deal. I don't even care if the Eagles win. I really don't because the Cowboys beat them this year. That's my Super Bowl. The Cowboys beat the friggin' Eagles. Like fuck it, I don't even care.
That's how we are with the Steelers. That's how we are.
Because I was so dreading that game because of how well the Eagles had been playing. And man, I didn't even get to watch a game because I was at Disney all day that day, and I came home and I wanted to start a Santino Morella parade, like I was, because I was so excited.
They're doing it in TNA now, apparently.
I mean, hey, you know what? If they want to sign him,
Or
and
Impact, I should say,
and he's healthy, and he's not, dealing with a concussion anymore, then good on Anthony Corelli for getting a job. Yeah, I mean, really, But at this point, if the Eagles win, it's because they've earned it, because they've had a bomb-ass season. So good on them for it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to shit on them anymore because Cowboys beat them, so I'm a happy boy. It was a good game, and that's the important thing I need to point out. Cowboys Eagles had a good game. It wasn't like a blowout where one destroyed the other, like we've seen so many times over the years with rivalry games or whatever. It was a good, solid game, and kind of like the game Kings in Vegas last night. I'm got to the point where I can't stand the Vegas Golden Knights. I appreciated them when they came in. They had a hell of debut season, but I want to beat those bastards so bad every time we see them now. And we beat in the last 10 games. We've beaten most of our rivals. We beat Vegas, we beat San Jose, and we beat the Ducks, which was and we got a point out of Arizona. So that was always good. Anyway, back to football.
Daniel, if they lose this weekend, they will be eliminated this weekend.
Yeah. Which, Greg, do we think we'd be talking about the Detroit Lions?
They still have a chance.
Right, yeah. Did we think we'd be talking about that even a year ago? That they saw that chance in a week, whatever it is, like toward the end?
Did we think that Jared Goff would have one of the best quarterback seasons in this season?
Yeah. Well,
is he still top 3 or no?
I don't know. I thought he would.
Honestly, not sure.
I thought he would. I thought it was a mistake for the Rams to let him go. So.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is I hope the Packers get eliminated.
I mean, clearly, look at where the Rams are.
I want the Patriots eliminated this week. I need Brady to lose.
Knowing Brady, he's going to pull it out the rest of this season. We're going to see him in the middle.
Hey, we beat him. That's all I care.
It's one of those. I've let up on Brady since he left New England because I can't stand that team.
Specifically that coach.
Well, specifically that coach, especially yes, and that'll be part of Saturday's show, which we'll plug enormously at the end, provided time. But God, I've said this on Mikey's show more than once, and probably almost got thrown off YouTube. Brady and Aaron Rodgers' declines have both been paralleled for very specific reasons, and I still stand by it. The fact that losing the steady, off-camera activity with their significant other has hindered them both.
Yeah.
And regardless of the actual moment, it's like that mindset will screw with you. When your relationship is falling apart, that rents space in your head.
Yeah.
So
let me ask Greg this: in the past 5 games, how do you think our team, the Steelers, have improved? I mean, yeah, Trubisky, we lost against the Ravens. I think if Pickett didn't get hurt in the Ravens game, I think we would have won that game because our defense pretty much held the Ravens to scoring.
I think had TJ Watt played the entire season, the Steelers would be comfortably in the playoffs. Okay, maybe not division leading, but I think they would have already locked in their spot. The offense still sucks.
Right.
And it has sucked all season.
Right. Yeah.
I will say, to answer my earlier question, Jared Goff is the current 7th quarterback in the NFL in terms of statistics.
Wow.
But,
it's a shame he does defense to help him.
Oh, yeah.
And again, I don't understand the Rams letting him get away because, man, they have just completely fallen off. They're having one of the worst Super Bowl hangovers I've ever seen. It's ugly. It's ugly.
Yeah, they got so many freaking injuries. It's crazy.
That's been the theme of the season, though, has it not? Everybody's getting banged up this year.
Yeah.
So it kind of is what it is. But What?
So in the fantasy football league that I did with Jared Bailey, Sean Ross Sapp, a bunch of guys, True Romy, all of them. I did not get last place.
Greg, I'm not sure if we got all that because it got really.
You went robot.
Yeah, very very robotic there and very pixelated.
Megatron was coming through.
Which like I did in our league.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it's a very different season of football from the first year we did the Greg Cherry Show because everything is completely different. I mean,
this has been one of the most unpredictable seasons I've had in a while.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 100%. Oh, geez, I'm echoing. There we go. There it goes.
Because I'm trying to get this set up to a place. I don't know why. Ever since I moved to this house, I'm having connection issues, and it's driving me insane. It's on my new computer too, so I think it's the internet.
Right. I mean that's definitely an Xfinity question, like you said. So
yeah.
How am I doing better than you in my league?
Because your league.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was weeks I didn't even set my roster.
I
haven't set my roster since October in any of my leagues.
I don't know because who am I? I'm in a league with one of the guys that does like the WWE Champions stuff on Twitch,
right.
And I'm in the finals. Like I'm in the championship game in that one.
Nice.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody in our extended circle that's complained about fantasy football more than Virtue this year. His weeks are so random. It's like, dude, I just want to give a. It's okay, Dave. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
It's been a strange year as far as that goes.
Yeah,
it's been a strange year for betting. Let me tell you
that's why I don't play because
Ohio's finally getting betting. Official sports betting, we're finally getting it.
Well, Josh, if you need a link, I can send you one for FanDuel.
Oh, there you go.
I was gonna say I might have to start listening to the Hammer Dan podcast.
That's what I've been doing, and they've been hitting. Did you see?
I saw he cashed out his bet.
Jesus,
like, he put in like $150 bet and got $18,000.
That's crazy.
It's been a crazy year in football, fantasy football, and especially crazy year in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But I digress. By the
all year.
Yeah, it's definitely looking forward to covering the major headlines on Saturday when we do open mic night to round out the year. But man,
let's take a look real quick for from the very beginning of this year. Wrestle Kingdom, where cheering really still wasn't fully allowed.
Yeah.
To what was the last show? Was it the Stardom show that happened last night?
Yeah.
Like the year that we've had progression wise, the transfer from Vince to Triple H, it's been one of the most insane years. The whole CM Punk AEW situation.
Well,
Stone Cold came back.
Stone Cold had a match and took a suplex onto concrete.
I was going to say when we were sitting around the screen around that round table, if you will, calling the Stone Cold match on the Jeff Meacham Network, broadcast stream. Did we think that there would be a bigger news story in 2022 than Stone Cold's comeback? I sure as shit didn't. No. And then, Vince retired. There was a brawl in Chicago between AEW. Huh? It was
insane.
Insane.
Cody Rhodes. Lest we forget.
Yeah. Cody leaving the company he founded. Yeah, that's crazy. It has
Gunther
been
and Sheamus basically having match of the year.
Well,
Gunther and Sheamus having Matty's match of like that match did some things to me.
Yeah, and Cody not only having come back to WWE, but wrestling that Hell in a Cell match, as mentioned in the chat, with his arm and shoulder damn near falling off his body because of the torn pectoral.
And it's not like the Crown Jewel match where it happened to Triple H in the middle of the match. No, that happened days before,
and he was like, "Yeah, let's send it."
Yeah, it's every time I see a torn pec injury, I cringe because I know exactly how long they're going to rehab. So there's only one person that's come back from that early, and that's because he's freaking part Kryptonian. I swear, John Cena is. It's crazy, but Cody's had more time to recover than John did for the Rumble moment, the Mania moment, whatever it's going to be. So that at least is a plus. You figure he got hurt, first half of the year. So Rumble is more likely. Greg being a Rumble fan will appreciate this. I don't think there was ever a bigger what the hell, than John coming at number 30 in 2008. It was nobody saw that coming.
And watching that moment live, because I did watch that pay-per-view live.
Yeah.
As in the moment in 2008, knowing how much I didn't care for Cena at the time,
right?
I was immediately pissed because I was like, as soon as his music hit, it's like he's winning,
right?
He's winning because there's no way he's going to come back from an injury 6-8 months ahead of time and not win the Rumble match.
Like what happened with Ronda and Brock this year.
Yeah. Yeah, that
two of the worst Rumbles I've ever seen.
Yeah, easily the most like Ronda was almost a foregone thing, and then when Brock lost the title match, oh fuck, he's coming back to win the end of the night.
Yeah, exactly.
It was one of the most predictable Rumble shows I think we've ever seen. And
I was live in attendance, and let me tell you, nothing sucked the air out of the arena more than Brock Lesnar coming out as the final entrant of the Men's Rumble.
It's like, oh man, yeah.
You had Matt Riddle, you had Randy Orton still in there, hometown hero Randy Orton. That was one of the biggest pops I may have ever seen was after the show when Matt Riddle basically grabbed Orton, who was trying to walk to the back. Riddle grabbed him around the neck, threw him back in the ring, and told him to get his flowers. While the entire arena cheered for Orton. It was really cool.
So, Matty, being there live, did people, and again, this is going way off, into one particular subject, but I know it's important to Greg and Josh especially. Did people shit on Shane McMahon in person as much as they've been doing on the internet and on television?
Okay. So, I don't know what the internet's initial reaction to Shane McMahon coming out was. Right. That arena popped.
Yeah, thank you, St. Louis.
I was gonna say,
good St. Louis.
I popped. Me and my brother, we popped because we weren't expecting Shane McMahon to appear.
Right.
Little alone, Shane McMahon to eliminate 3 people?
Yeah.
Yay.
One of them being Kevin Owens. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. So, Greg and I are Shane McMahon stans.
When Shane came out, everybody popped. When Shane started eliminating people, I verbally heard people go, "Okay, what the fuck is going on?"
I wanted him to win. I wanted him to win.
So did I.
I will say, I don't know if we would have seen a modern day riot if Shane McMahon would have won.
Shane McMahon
would have tried to throw a ring
over Roman Reigns. It would have been a good story.
It would have been hilarious.
I
will say I was one of the only people in the crowd that enjoyed Roman Reigns doing to Seth Rollins what he did.
That was kind of cool.
I was about to say I really enjoyed that while everybody else was loudly booing.
Right.
I popped for that entrance from Seth.
That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
And it's so funny that you say that because I had to think about it. I'm like, oh, that's right. That was this year's Rumble. He did the Shield thing. I'm like, really this year? Because Roman's been champion for so friggin' long, everything gets jumbled.
Right?
So.
He's not going to be champion for with one of the belts for too much longer, if the stories are to be believed.
Yeah. What are you say, Greg?
I was gonna say Seth's entrance. He walked right past Issa and Cher Delaware too.
Oh, that's right.
Really?
I forgot about that. Yeah.
If you go follow Issa NYC Demon Diva on YouTube, she's there with Cher Delaware, and Seth walked right past them while doing the Shield entrance.
That's awesome.
Steps. You can see him on the main broadcast of it too.
Oh, I'm sure.
With me being there this year, by the way, my flight lands in San Antonio literally like an hour and a half before doors open for the show. That's going to be fucking fun.
Yeah.
How far is the Alamo Dome from the airport?
I think it was like 30 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, well, you're opening up a can of Hall ass to get there.
Yeah, we're opening a can of Hall ass.
And then, Texas. Golly.
Yeah, so the night I land is the night of the Rumble. So here's hoping,
right?
It's all worth it, and I don't have another I enjoyed Rumble in St. Louis. I enjoyed it being there live. But then whenever I got back to the hotel and was scrolling through Twitter, I was like, "Why is everybody shitting on this show?"
Right.
That's how I felt before going to certain shows. Like when you're there live, it's objectively a different experience than watching it on TV.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Honestly, I love the Rumble match. After the 2022 one, I just kind of felt dirty. It was like I feel like violated. Like I didn't enjoy this show, and I love the
show was forced on me. Yeah.
So I enjoyed Bobby Brock because it felt more like realistic, because it looked like Brock was actually throwing Bobby, and then Bobby comes out having a bad injury with his shoulder because of the horrible Germans.
Yeah, and then he kept taking the Germans on the shoulders. Like, quit it!
And another thing, Roman being involved in the first 3 matches of the show. It just did that. I understand that not setting well. I very much understand that not setting well. But also, speaking of the Rumble, any idea what this pitch black match is going to be at?
I've heard rumors it might be for Bray, but also could be Edge and Balor. I've also seen that rumor thrown around. So, don't know, but we shall see.
Brought to you by Mountain Dew.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. This is Triple H's biggest challenge to date. Survivor Series, he had War Games.
Arguably, yeah.
SummerSlam, the card was already set for him. He just added some things to make it better. The Royal Rumble is going to be his biggest challenge yet.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say greater than WrestleMania, but the Royal Rumble is people's favorite night of the year over WrestleMania. Even though Mania is objectively the bigger card, bigger draw. It's going to be, he's got to do better and make sure the mistakes of last year are not repeated. Same thing with the mistakes of 2014, 2015.
It won't be hard to outdo the Rumble matches of this past year because they were bad. So past it, I don't think he's going to get to the level of what the 2020 men's and the 2021 women's were. That's going to be a tough task if he wants to escalate that, because that match, the 2020 men's, made Drew McIntyre my undisputed number 1 Rumble match of all time, if you watch my Rumble lists. And then
interesting choice.
And then the 2021 women's, which is my number 10 match of all time, because that match made Bianca Belair. It was a fantastic women's Rumble, and that was the one in the Thunderdome. It
was a very good Rumble.
Hell, it was.
Bianca and Rhea at the end was so good.
Now, with you guys saying that they kind of have to capitalize, or Triple H kind of has to capitalize with this Rumble, Do you think he's going to go with the quote unquote predictable winners in Cody Rhodes? And I think I was seeing Becky, but my pick would have been Rhea.
Yeah. I don't think Becky's going to win the Rumble. I
think it's Rhea.
Yeah, I think Becky's going to find another way to Ronda. I still don't like the idea of Becky and Ronda.
Me neither. That's why I was away from it.
I honestly don't think WWE will go that direction anymore. I think even Triple H has realized it's sort of cooled off that they were going to do it. They should have done it.
And Triple H always had his ear more to like the social media scape, and he has to see all the negative publicity that Ronda's getting on not just
Every
Twitter but Instagram.
If they do Becky and Ronda, it shouldn't be for the title.
No, because
just make it a one.
At this point, I think Rhea versus Bianca is the better money match after the Royal Rumble.
Because that's a match they should have done 6 months ago.
I was about to say Money in the Bank.
Yeah. Yep. Mike is asking an important question. I pay you next week if you're doing that Royal Rumble numbers game again this year. I am planning on doing that. I do not have a date for the drawing. It will likely be on a Thursday. And I'm going to try and get more people involved this year because I know I spoke to one of our previous guests, Ella J, who might actually have some interest in doing that. And we also briefly discussed upping the price, which means upping the prize pool for that. If that was comfortable for everybody, I guess.
Right. Keep in mind, Greg, for people in your audience that don't watch the NoDQ shows at this point, Aaron has finally consented. After how many freaking years? We're doing pay-per-view picks on Thursday. Finally, from starting next year. So
finally,
I would do the Rumble draw on an off pay-per-view Thursday, if at all possible.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it the week or the
Rumble,
like the Thursday before the Rumble.
Okay.
Just
out there. I've only been beaten into his friggin' head for 20 years, and he's finally doing it. So
they used to.
I
then the review took that spot.
If anything, I will do it the week before Jack of all trades.
Okay.
Which would probably, if I'm looking at my schedule, Jack of all trades would probably be January 19th, which would make
the Rumble draw the 12th.
Yeah, the Rumble thing on the 12th.
Which is fine because the Rumble's 28th, and we'll have the predictions will be on the 26th. So that's
I like Dwayne's comment. He said Ronda and Shayna would be way better.
If they go down that road,
I would enjoy.
Absolutely.
There's one reason that I would enjoy that, and it's because that those two have chemistry together.
Yeah,
they do.
That match would probably be one of I think Charlotte is Ronda's best opponent. I think that if Shayna were to have a match with Ronda, we might have a new, favorite opponent of Ronda's.
Yeah,
they could do it. I fully believe that they would give their all in that match.
Because they're so close and because they want to prove to people that they're not just, buddies and
fighters.
And
Shayna would want to make Ronda look good.
Well, Ronda wanted to make Shayna look good too because people, are very unfortunately now very much labeling them together. I don't think that's fair. Definitely not to Shayna, but I really think people are crapping on Ronda way too much. And I get that she made the comments about the fans and whatever. But you know what? People forget that, I say this all the time. I was there when the California crowd turned on her, and that was hard for her. And she was still so new to that, being in the industry as a performer, and the people just shit all over her, man. And it was
she
hard.
Really had to adjust way too fast, I think.
She did. I think that her personality in the octagon led Hunter and Vince and everybody into a false sense of security. It really did, because she was such a badass, and she had such that, and you know, she had Roddy's endorsement, she had Jean LaBelle's endorsement, and it's like, yeah, but people forget that Roddy and Jean both embraced keeping kayfabe and not exposing the business, so it was the complete opposite of what they expected. So I think it should have been. She should have been handled with far. And again, I'm talking about handling Ronda Rousey with kid gloves is kind of an oxymoronic statement, but her personality was not able to develop, and her skills were not. I mean, she was in a WrestleMania marquee match. She was challenging for the title by the Summer. She was championed by SummerSlam. It was just a recipe for, here we go, another Dwayne, another Randy Orton, and here we go again. So it was just bad business.
I have nothing against Ronda Rousey.
I don't either.
Her mic skills aren't the best still.
No,
they're getting better.
If I were to compare that to anybody, I would compare it to like how Dave Bautista was on mic. Like,
yes,
he wasn't comfortable, but if he was ripping into someone, he could do it in front of everybody if he wanted to.
Well, I've been of the opinion that I think Ronda should have never been made to be a babyface. She is a badass killer, and she as much as she seems awkward out there being a heel and, cutting down people, especially the fans themselves, because she does really appreciate her fans far more than people realize. I think that if they said, hey, talk whatever shit you want within the FCC guidelines, obviously, because UFC doesn't care about that kind of stuff. I would say that it would have been better for her. But again, there was a ready-made story with her and Stephanie because of the thing out here in California a few years ago. So that's the natural progression of things. Stephanie's a heel. She always will be a heel, regardless of, whatever they're, Stephanie and Hunter are natural heels. So I think you hit it right on the head. It was just so much in that 1 year that it was just too much.
Yeah, it's hard to say. But the thing is, like, she was more enjoyed in her first run than she has been in the
Yeah.
Because she was kicking the hell out of Stephanie.
Right.
Yeah, but that was the one match in the night after WrestleMania. After that, it was Nia, and then it was Alexa, and then it was Nikki Bella, and then it was Sasha who gave her a hell of a match with the Rumble.
Sasha did give her a really good match. I forgot about that.
But again, I've stated numerous times, Sasha's so damn underappreciated. And, she's given pretty much everybody on that roster their best match. And some people just don't want to hear it. I don't know whether it's, they're in denial, they're racist. I don't know what.
It's got to be some form of ignorance. Like, whether it be tribalism or to Greg's point, like there is that portion of crowd that is for absolutely no reason racist to that point.
And there's no reason for it. I mean, Mercedes Varnado is, in my opinion, the greatest women's performer that has ever done professional wrestling.
Wow.
Period end. I've said it on the show. I hope she does New Japan. I hope her and Kyrie, if that's the direction they go, I hope they kill it. I
would love to see that match.
I would too.
Do you think she's going to be Soraya's partner?
Yes.
Here in Inglewood.
Yes.
Greg. I'm asking Greg because he's the Mercedes guy.
Yeah, Sean said that there was a pretty solid chance. I think he said like 70-80% chance that it could be Mercedes. Which I'm for. Her being there would do nothing but elevate that women's division.
Yep.
I would love to see a Mercedes and Britt thing. Like just a program between the two of them.
Yeah.
Title involved, but
Nope. It's just about who's the bigger boss bitch.
Yeah, and if Chris Statlander isn't the one to end Jade Cargill's, it's going to be Mercedes.
I endorse that fully because Chris's injuries just keep not going to expectations.
Let's say Chris Statlander's injury resume has really made me sad because I've been such a big fan of her since CZW.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, speaking of people who are relatively injury prone, I hope Tegan Knox stays healthy.
Right.
Yes.
God, this is literally third strike for her. If she gets hurt again, it's like, what do they do at this point?
Well, if she tears another ACL, I'm sorry. I hope the best for her, whatever she does afterwards. Because after that, if you tear another ACL,
there's legitimately
you tore one of them twice, and then the other one once.
Yeah, there's legit one wrestler I know that's come back from that many knee surgeries, and even Rey Mysterio was not Rey Mysterio as he was in '96 and '97, '98. It's the knees are a tricky thing, man, especially wrestling. God.
Speaking of knee injury, I really hope Santana has a fantastic year next year.
Yep, agreed.
But speaking of Rey, I honestly think this Mania is his last. I think he's retiring after this Mania.
I think it should be.
That's why I think it should be him versus Dom.
That's what I'm saying. They're still doing the storyline. Dom got arrested. What was it Christmas Eve or before that?
Christmas Day.
Outside, the Mysterios like doing what they try to do on Thanksgiving. They're still doing that storyline.
Yep.
Dom is beating Rey at WrestleMania, like it or not, and Rey's gonna probably take the mask off and retire.
I think that's a great way to go. I think that's how a mask wrestler would want to go. If you're going to lose, you lose your mask for real this time, not some WCW driven nonsense. And you go out, you fall on your sword, and you die. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Greg, real quick, because I know we're getting close to Dynamite time. I do want to plug Saturday's show because it is so important for the brand and for everybody that's going to be, and everybody here is welcome. I know New Year's Eve is popular for some people to go out and do their thing, but please, if you guys can come in, we're starting at 11 o'clock Eastern on my channel, JJ's channel, Noah's channel, James's channel, whoever else wants to be included as far as on the screen, you're more than welcome to come in. We'll send the link out. We're actually going to have the link going across on our ticker to join in. If you guys want to pop in, it's open door policy on Saturday. We are definitely covering all of this. The one in the lower left is basically I'm going to myself pick highlights from the different Supercard calls that we did on the network all year. There's one in particular that's going to be my favorite moment of the year that JJ knows about, but nobody else because
Tyrus winning the title.
That is 100% not going to be it.
Come on, man. Hard times.
Oh, my goodness.
Screw Tyrus.
You know what? I don't mind Tyrus. I don't even think we called that show because did we no, because you know what? We didn't call that show because none of us were available to be home, I think is what happened there.
See what you did.
But you know what? Good for Brodus. I like George. I like Tyrus. I think he's fun. Anyway,
Brontosaurus.
That's right. But there's a poll on my Twitter right now for those 4 news stories of what you guys think is the biggest. I mean, one of them is running away with it right now, as I think it should. But again, people, I mean, there's no bigger story for me than Vince McMahon. But again, people have their opinions. So JJ is getting the best of dads together for the highlights of the year. James is putting together the shenanigans stream for open mic night clip. Oh my God. We have some stupid shit go down this year on the show. But
welcome.
Me singing Double J. Oh my God.
That if it's not on there when we go Saturday, I'm gonna find it and put up my damn self, G. Great stuff.
I completely forgot. We had Effie versus fucking Jeff Jarrett this year.
Seriously, Jarrett worked at every promotion, and I don't care what Mikey T says. Jeff Jarrett was a horseman, and if he comes on open mic night Saturday and tries to bullshit that, I will gladly torpedo my monetization and put that clip from Nitro up because, God damn it, he's a horseman.
Jeff Jarrett beat Effie this year. I still can't fathom
Jeff Jarrett beat Effie. Jeff Jarrett was in a main event program with Ric Flair. Jeff Jarrett was a referee at SummerSlam. Jeff Jarrett worked at NWA show, and Jeff Jarrett was on AEW this year. So,
Jeff Jarrett was on AEW pay-per-view this year.
Pay-per-view that's right. So cheers to the chosen one who is a horseman, damn it. And ain't he great?
Ain't he great? Remember, it's JEFF, JARRET.
And lest we forget, we are living in his world.
But now, in his world, that's right. But now I throw it back to GREGCHERRY to close us out.
Yes. No Jackie Fargo strut for me because we're out of time.
Right. That's right.
But I do want to thank you for being on. Appreciate you. Dynamite's coming up. I hope to God I feel better for the first show of 2023.
Right.
And I think it'll be just Jeff and myself. And Dwayne is saying that Wardlow becomes a 2-time TNT champion tonight.
Well, Greg, just to make you feel even worse about that, I won't be on next week's show because I'll be at work.
Crying out loud.
I'm sorry. Blame the mouse. It's all his fault.
Matty, you busy?
Next week?
2 days next week.
No, I should be open.
Here.
All right, there you go. So me and Matty will be hosting the show. I legit tried to get an interview with Mandy Rose lined up for next week, but I had never heard back. Just because I thought it would have been, something really cool.
That would have been awesome.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I do want to get some actual wrestler interviews on the channel. That's a goal for mine for the Great Cherry Show.
As is mine. Yes.
And hopefully with equipment that freaking works.
Yes. All the things.
But until next week, we thank you for watching the Greg Cherry brand throughout 2022. We hope you've enjoyed everything that's come a part of it. And go watch some Dynamite, and we will see you next year right here on the Greg Cherry Show. Have a good night. Don't be a jack.
Bill Belichick.
No, not on this show, Josh.
No Matt Canada.
I'll say it too. Fuck Belichick.
Okay, fine.
Fuck Belichick.
Yes.